The need to see in the dark, to observe weather patterns from space, or conduct security surveillance created the big idea of night vision and thermal imaging. The green vision of military operations in warfare is a common image from the nightly news. Infrared image intensifiers enable night vision devices to literally see in light that is too dark for unassisted vision. Thermal imaging and forward-looking infrared, or FLIR, is a continuation of the night vision big idea. Thermographic cameras detect radiation in the infrared range of the electromagnetic spectrum and produce images of that radiation. Since FLIRs use detection of thermal energy to create the picture assembled for the video output, they can be used to help pilots and drivers steer their vehicles at night, in fog, or detect warm objects against a cold background when it's completely dark. The big idea of thermal imaging photography finds many other uses. Originally used by NASA for monitoring weather patterns, it's now used to monitor the heat tiles on space shuttle flights following the tragic flight of 2003. Firefighters can use thermal imaging to see through smoke, find persons, and localize the base of a fire. Police have used FLIR devices to locate illegal drug growing activity in the UK. No longer needing to rely on nosy neighbours or reports of huge power usage, the police can now monitor thermal images and detect the heat that is associated with growing drug crops. FLIR cameras can help heating experts to see heat loss from buildings and take steps to reduce greenhouse gas usage. These thermal images show the heat loss from a public building. The white and red areas are where energy is escaping from this building, while the cooler colours, just as green and blue, show good insulation or sealing. With thermal imaging, power lines maintenance technicians locate overheating joints and parts, a telltale sign of their failure to eliminate potential hazards. Some physiological activities, particularly responses in human beings and other warm-blooded animals, can also be monitored with thermographic imaging. Scientists have discovered a new means of detecting when a person is telling a lie, which could revolutionise the security industry. Scientists have developed an instant lie detector technique which picks up mini hot flushes around the eyes and could lead to truth tests becoming standard at airport check-ins. In a new test developed by scientists at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, a high-definition thermal imaging camera scans a person's face to see if they blush when answering a question. In theory, blood should rush to the eye area of liars, researcher James Levine said, while the innocent remain coolly and calmly unaffected. Experiments, in which 20 people were randomly asked to stab a mannequin, rob it of $20, and then profess their innocence, showed the technique to be as effective as existing lie detector or polygraph tests. The thermal camera correctly picked out 75% of the guilty individuals and 90% of the innocents, a control group who had no knowledge of the mock crime. Furthering the big idea of thermal imaging security devices, an Israeli company has created what they are calling a virtual fence. The picture of an unknown face fills the screen of the FLIR camera that can be used to beef up security in public events. The FLIR camera is so sensitive that it can pick up the heat signature left from the person's finger on their face.
We can detect boats in the water. For land applications, we can detect human and vehicle intruders within a defined perimeter. And for aerial applications, we can detect intruding aircraft.
The thermal imaging cameras are the 21st century equivalent of the guard on foot. From control booths, security officials will be able to scan wide areas. What makes them special is that they'll be able to detect any movement from intruders, zoom in on it and analyse the picture, day or night. Thermal imaging and forward-looking infrared devices are truly big ideas from the scientific world.